The new deal is worth $180 million with $141 guaranteed, giving him one of the top yearly salaries for any non-quarterback in the NFL. He's got 6 sacks. He ranks behind only Micah in quarterback pressures. The Lions, 5-2 behind the Packers for first place in the NFC North. Green Bay, though, has the shortest odds to win the division at -125, according to ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Packers did dominate the Lions in Week 1. The two do meet again in Week 13 in Detroit. Stephen A., I start with you. Are the Lions or the Packers the better team in the NFC North?
Me personally, I'm going to sit up there and say for the moment you have to give it to the Green Bay Packers, because the last time we saw them going up against each other, Green Bay stomped them, and we get that, although that was Week 1, and we understand that. We're still waiting to see what's going to happen with Detroit on the defensive side of the ball when it really, really counts. I think that when we look at them, we think about their potency offensively. You know who Jared Goff is. You know who Amon-Ra St. Brown is. You know who Gibbs is. You've seen what he's done. You see how electrifying they can be. But then we saw them go to Kansas City and get neutralized, right? And we saw them having an ability to really, really neutralize KC. So you're wondering about them defensively, and that remains to be seen. You look at Jordan Love and what Green Bay's bringing to the table. You look at what Micah Parsons and Gary are brought to their defense. They can get at the quarterback. You've seen, Micah Parsons win basically a couple of games over the last couple of weeks because of his ability to get to the quarterback, and you're saying that could obviously be the difference. I gotta wait to see it, because I don't think the team that Green Bay saw in Week 1 is who they're going to see when they see them again. But until further notice, we gotta give props where props is due to the right now #1 seed in the NFC. By the way, Austin Reeves, Wichita State, then Oklahoma.
Good recall. I think Detroit's the best team in the NFC North. I think Detroit's the best team in the NFC. I think Detroit's the best team in the NFL.
Whoa!
Wow.
Who can beat you more ways? Who can, from a football team perspective, beat you more ways? So can the Detroit Lions, if they have to, throw it all around the yard and beat you? It's one of the best pass games in the NFL. Quarterback playing as good as just about any quarterback in the NFL. What happens if they need to run the ball 40 times and beat you? Can they do that? No question about it. They got the best running back duo in ball, and I would make the case one of the best offensive lines in football. So offensively, whatever defense does to them, they can get it done. Week 1, that was like that crazy outlier. Everything's changed since then. Defensively, can they stop the run? Top 5 stopping the run. Can they get after the passer? No question about it. Aiden Hutchinson and Lee McNeil getting there healthy. What secondary is better? What secondary is more talented playing man coverage? Maybe Denver? I mean, they got 4 or 5 cats that can lock down in man coverage when healthy. I think they got but one of the, if not the best safety duos in football. They play with an edge. This is a football team that went down to Kansas City. And I understand Kansas City won the game, but they were decimated by injury on the back end. They drop a 4th down by Amon-Ra in the first half. They get the Goff touchdown that gets called back because of a penalty that maybe had some language that wasn't detailed and known by their coaching staff. This team, I don't think there's another team in ball that can, no matter what style is needed, play to that style in a winning way like Detroit can.
The Green Bay Packers can. And the Green Bay Packers are actually more consistent on defense. Now, you don't want to hate on Detroit, or not acknowledge the job that Kelvin Shepard has done as a defensive coordinator.
That's fair.
And I think you truly have to point to the Monday night game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? You're playing with guys who have been called up or who have made the team from the UFL. Both of your starting safeties, who are all pro caliber safeties, are gone. And the ability to disguise and the ability to maneuver after the snap to confuse Baker Mayfield, cover Emeka Egbuka, I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. But it doesn't erase what we saw in Kansas City. It doesn't erase the way that Matt Nagy and Andy Reid attacked that man defense, especially in the red zone. And this is with Brian Branch. Right, and so I don't believe that when you look at Detroit, we could say that they're holistically better than the Green Bay Packers, holistically better than the Philadelphia Eagles, holistically better than the Los Angeles Rams, because still on the back end, DJ Reed has to come back and be exactly who he was before the injury. I think Terrion Arnold wasn't playing as well as you would have expected him to. And when I look at the Green Bay Packers, there's obviously the disappointing games too. Right? Offensively, Cleveland Browns. Got to be better. Matthew Golden, you can't step out of bounds when you get the go ball. Defensively, Dallas Cowboys. You have to be better. So there are those games, and there's no perfect team. I love the way Jordan Love is now playing football. Sure. I love the fact that you said this, and we talked, and Mina said this on Monday. it's okay to put it in Jordan Love's hands now.
Yeah.
Even though that run game is great, we don't have to just rely on that or lead with that going forward. And I think you cannot minimize the impact of Micah Parsons on his defense.
That's right, exactly right. But we're going to find out about Micah Parsons in this defense now when you go up against the Detroit Lions this time around, because when the familiarity that they have with one another, whether it's Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Laporta, whomever, you got all of these guys with Gibbs and Montgomery coming out of the backfield. The fact that all of these bodies are familiar bodies that you have been coaching with and playing together with these last few years. That level of chemistry, Detroit is a team that we need to be talking about in terms of no excuses. You talk about a window. You understand? I'm looking at their talent, and obviously it extends beyond this year, but I'm just talking about knocking on the door. Considering the culture change that Dan Campbell has invoked, considering how good they've looked during the regular season over the last 2 years, considering how great they looked last year until the tail end of the season when they had that plethora of injuries on the defensive side of the ball. I'm just looking at them now, and I find myself saying, okay, just be healthy. Just be healthy so we don't have any excuses.
Yeah.
And we all know that with Jared Goff, even though the brother's a stud statistically, and we know he can play, we've also seen him in some big moments not do what we're looking for him to do.
But I will say this, though, and this is for any college kid, there is no team in the NFL that I'd rather be drafted to than the Detroit Lions.
Because?
If you go to the Detroit Lions, one, you're going to be developed.
Yeah.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, J-Mo Williams, Aiden Hutchinson.
Penei Sewell.
Two, you're going to be paid.
Yep.
It is such a compliment to not only Aiden Hutchinson, but Brad Holmes. He said, look, you're coming off an injury.
Yeah.
If you can show
Big
me
deal.
that you're the same person, I promise I won't make you wait.
Yeah.
I promise you'll get
kept
paid.
his word.
And he kept his word.
It's like the Eagles.
It's like the Eagles.
Yes.
You get drafted to this team, you will
We'll
not
take care
only
of you.
develop, win, but you'll get taken care of. That's an
under the
important
radar.
thing in the locker room.
That's under the radar, because the other day when the news hit about Aiden Hutchinson, you know what? We just said, okay, they signed to extension. That usually doesn't happen this time of year.
No.
Correct.
That usually happens. That's a good point. That's a good point.
I will say this, second half against Pittsburgh, I don't know if there's a better team that played a better half than the Packers.
Agreed.
Yeah, they're a very good football
offensively
team. Very good.
And defensively.
Very good football
Very
team.
scary. Good football.
Somebody has his roots, though, in Detroit.
I took Jordan Love as the MVP this year.
Okay, so he's playing both sides, folks. Dallas is hoping to get off the mat on Monday when they play the Cardinals. Wait until you hear eye-opening comments from their head coach, Shoddy with some comments. You don't want to miss this. Speaking of eye-opening comments, oh baby, the Louisiana governor had a lot to say about LSU's recent coaching and buyout situation.
That's
Trust me, RC.
That's
McClat,
right. Don't go nowhere.
We got
Don't go nowhere.
Must-See TV
Don't go nowhere.
on the way.
Yeah, but at least he's going to pick the AD.
ESPN Bet's Power Hour promo is here for Thursday night. Head to the ESPN Bet app 1 hour before kickoff to get enhanced odds on first TD scorer props for tonight's game. Score more from the game with ESPN Bet, the sportsbook for